Hello everybody. I've missed my Friday posting of vlogs because his lordship has been very busy since we came out of lockdown. All of these sports clubs that haven't been doing any sport have all of a sudden started placing orders and asking us to send some. Their orders are smaller, but they're still ordering trophies, and so he has had lots of work on and I've had lots of work on, so I haven't had a chance to upload a video. So I'm in the process of doing one at the moment. Hopefully it's Sunday. Hopefully I might get it uplisted by Monday, tomorrow, fingers crossed. With a bit of luck it might be tonight if I do it properly. Anyway, I am going to have a bit of chat at the end. Bit of chat at the end. I was going to say at the start, but I'm going to have a bit of chat at the end because I want to do something that might interest you first, and then those of you who want to stay on. What's that? Those of you who want to stay and watch the whole of the vlog can watch the bit of chat between me and his lordship. Anyway, this is about three garments that I made. Three garments that I made, and it is the Caramia. No, it's not. It's the Caladium jumpsuit by Caramia. It's the Caladium jumpsuit by Caramia, and I thought I'd tell you about it first. This is the Caladium jumpsuit, the pattern, and the lady Caramia, I think she lives in Hawaii. How do you say it? I would say Hawaii, but some people say it's Hawaii or something else, and I'm sure she could correct me if she was watching. Anyway, this Caladium jumpsuit, or Caladium, I would call it Caladium, you call it what you like. Caladium jumpsuit caught my eye on Instagram. Somebody that I follow, and I can't remember who it was, had put a picture of one that she'd made up, and I thought it looks really good. So I thought, right, I'm going to download this pattern. And when I found it when I went to her website. It's the only PDF pattern that I can see that she's done. She sells lots of dresses and she makes a lot of dresses. She did have a shop, and she just closed her shop, and I think she's doing a warehouse, I'm not sure. But I thought that all the dresses, she made some lovely dresses, and I thought that every one that she made was something that she did a PDF for, but she doesn't. This Caladium is the only one that I can see that she's done. Now, if I'm wrong, will you please tell me? But this is the only one that I can see that there's an actual pattern for. It's a PDF. And when I went on to the website, she actually asks you what would you be prepared to pay for it. And she offers you 3 prices. And I thought they were quite reasonable prices. And I think I went for the middle one. For no other reason, I just went for the middle one, to be honest. Anyway, I downloaded the pattern, stuck it together, got the jumpsuit cut out, and the first one I made was this blue spotted one. And the blue was a blue spotted one, blue and black one. And the fabric I used was some fabric that Jenny got me from here. It was in beige. I didn't like it and I dyed it. Oh, surprise, surprise. I dyed it navy blue. Anyway, loved it. I actually shortened the bodice, and I think on reflection, I think the bodice was a bit too short. I could do with it being a fraction longer. But basically, the nice thing about this Caladium the nice thing about this Caladium jumpsuit is it's reversible. Although I felt more comfortable with the deep V being at the front than I did with the square at the back, the square being across there. I'm not keen on square fronts, so I preferred that to be at the back. But this, it's reversible, you can wear it either way. As I say, I preferred mine to have the V at the front. And so I made three garments. The first one was my blue and black spotted one. Loved that. You may have caught a glimpse of me wearing it a few weeks back in one of my vlogs, and I didn't talk about it because I was doing something else. Then I thought I'd try some other fabric, and I tried a navy blue coloured fabric. Let me see if I can show you it. The second one I made was this one, and it was fabric from Renee, who sent me fabric, and this was the second one. I don't know if she has pockets in it, but I put pockets in. I felt I needed the pockets. I think she does, I'm not sure, but because you can reverse it, that you can have a square front or you can have a V front. Now this fabric that Renee gave me wasn't enough, so I had to piece it again, little jigsaw thing, and I've got a piece across there. You can see where the seam is there on the cross back one, and I made some kind of I made bias. I actually used the actual fabric to bias it, and I top stitched twice on it. So it's actually got 2 rows of stitching. Don't know if you can see there, 2 rows of stitching there, and as I say, it's a stretch bias that's on the back. I just used the same fabric. I love this, but I haven't had a chance to wear it. I think when I filmed it, I had a white polo neck jumper on underneath. Great with a t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt, or even a sleeveless one, you know, a sleeveless cami type top that you can wear underneath. I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing that without anything on. It's got very deep sides, so you'd have to have no bust to be able to get away with having it as open as that. But I do think it's good. I think it goes lovely with something on underneath. So that's that one. You'll see some photographs of me wearing it. And then the third one that I made, because that was number 2, was this one from some fabric that I had. And again, I prefer the V part at the front to the square back. Again, I used bias. I just biased, and what I do is I just did the bias, I sewed it, and then I trimmed it right the way very close to the second row stitching. So I've got a double row stitching there, you might just see there, and then I trimmed it back. Pockets again, pockets in here, and because it's reversible, you just make the pockets lie whichever way you want. These are great for if you're on the beach. Not that I will be going on the beach where I am. If I go on the beach, I doubt if I'll be wearing a bathing costume, not in English weather. But if I was going on the beach, or if you're one of these people that's going on holiday to Spain or in America to places where there's a lovely beach, hot weather, you can climb into this. You don't have, it doesn't have any zips or any seams. You can actually step into it, and you can wear it over the top of your bathing costume. Again, it's a summer winter thing, so you could wear it in the winter with a polo neck jumper on underneath. Really, really comfortable. So I love this. I would highly recommend, and the nice thing about it, I think it takes about 2.5 meters of fabric. I think that one, this one here that Rennie gave me, there was only 2 meters, so that's why I had to piece it together. If you're good at jigsaws and you're good at piecing things, then that you could probably get away with 2 meters, depending on your size, of course. But I just I can't tell you how nice it is, especially if you've got a big bottom or a big, you know, it just seems to, it looks good on any size body. And I think I've shown you at the start of this what they look like on all the different bodies. Would I make it again? Well, I've made 3, so that, yes, I would make it again. I think I would like to try a plain fabric. Like to try something like a denim-y fabric or a black fabric that you could tone with a bright colour underneath. Because I like the navy blue with the spots, and I like the fact that I could team it with a bright pink or team it with an orange t-shirt. I thought that looked quite nice. Whereas you're a bit more, when you've got flowery fabric, you're a bit more restricted on what you can do with it. Did I have any problems or issues? The only issue was my own fault because I shortened the bodice, you know, where you can lengthen or shorten. I shortened it, and I think I probably shortened it just that little bit. I could do with a little bit more room in my crotch area. The crotch is a little bit close up for my liking. I'd rather it was a bit lower, and that's simply because I shortened the bodice. I didn't want the V going right down, and when I thought, well, I'll shorten it a bit, and I shortened it by about 2 inches. I think I could have just done with shortening it 1 inch. But it's a lovely, lovely pattern. Easy to cut out, easy to make. Basically 2 pieces, and then you buy, no, two big pieces, your 4 pocket pieces, and your bias, which if you're using stretch, you can use the strips of your stretch to bias bind round the sleeves. I think there is a bit of a pattern for cutting the sleeve facings, but I tend to do a lot of bias. I prefer to do you know, years ago my mother used to sew, and she always used to do bias binding, and I was always one that did facings, and I kept thinking, why does my mother always use bias binding? Why does she not use the facings? Now I'm my mother's age. Now I know why I use bias binds, because it's so much easier. You don't have to fuss on cutting a whole piece of fabric of facing, and you can use the bias binding, and it just to me it just lies better. And if you can buy some nice coloured bias binding, it sets it off even better. You could use rainbow bias binding or any colour, something that's going to be quite attractive, so that if you do see the inside, it looks quite good, and it looks like you've actually intentionally put a nice contrast bias binding on. So if I did do a navy blue or a black next time, a plain one, I will put a fancy bias binding on the inside to set it off even more. So yes, that's the Caladium Jumpsuit by Caramia. Highly recommended. From start to finish, I love it. And in fact, here's a little tip. It's the one garment that when I put it on, I think it was the blue spotty one that I put on, and I came downstairs and his lordship said, oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice outfit you've got on. And my jaw just dropped. And I thought, he's never ever noticed what I'm wearing. Quite often when he'll say to me, oh, well, no, I tell a lie. He'll say, that's a nice dress you've got on. And I'll go, Brian, I've worn it for 2 years. But this was actually one that I put on, and when I came downstairs, he admired it immediately. So it wasn't like he has seen it time and time again. He actually said he liked it. So I was quite pleased about that. So that was that one. I'm going to, rather than go on to the next one, I'm going to tell you about it next time, because I need to get this video uploaded, otherwise you're never going to see me. Do I like gazing at myself when I'm having a coffee? I'm not gazing at myself, I'm trying to record.
Is that do recording? Man?
Yeah. There's the camera there. That's the one where you say, there's somebody watching me.
No, but they do. People hijack cameras.
Yeah, well, these people are on the other side of the screen.
What's
are
his
hijacking
name?
the cameras.
Chappie who's head of Facebook is even him. He has
his little camera covered up like that.
Yeah,
you see.
Yeah. He has it
so
covered.
Yeah, well, I'll cover it up after I've talked to these lot.
Are they on live?
Yeah, they're on. It's just, what have you just done for me? You've just made me.
I've just made her a coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
No mustard.
Anyway, very quickly, this is the first bit is about mustard. I had never got around to telling you all about how I enjoyed reading all your comments about mustard, and there were there were so many, I couldn't remember them all. You could put mustard in cheese. You could use it as for bronchitis. Make up a paste and put it on your chest for bronchitis. And several others, lots of others. Thank you so much for sending them. But there's one or two that inspired him to make comments. So here they are. Seaside Mum says, are you sure you're from Yorkshire way? Here in Canada, those of us with British heritage use Coleman's hot mustard powder to serve with roast beef, ham, etc. I get an egg cup, put half a teaspoonful to a teaspoonful in and add a few drops of warm water, stir and have with your meat for Sunday dinner. We up in Geordieland, at least, he's going to tell you something in a minute. This is his response because he's from Yorkshire country. Right.
My answer was Micheline is a sophisticated French girl.
Half French.
Well,
French Geordie.
so she's semi-sophisticated French girl. No, semi-sophisticated half French girl. But I'm a rough Yorkshireman, right? And I agree with
Seaside Mum.
Seaside Mum. Yeah, because in Yorkshire, of course you have mustard with roast beef. You haven't lived if you don't have mustard.
And what else do you have? Because when your son comes, he always asks for it, and I never have it.
Well, the alternate to mustard is horseradish sauce, and I do recommend trying, if you haven't, horseradish sauce. Horseradish sauce. Horseradish sauce, as well as mustard. What else do we do? Oh, mustard also goes on ham, and you've not lived if you haven't made a ham sandwich and put too much mustard on.
And it goes up your nose.
It makes your nose fizz. It's brilliant.
It's painful.
It's brilliant. It's better than snuff.
I've never tried snuff, but is that what snuff's like? Have you tried snuff?
I've never tried snuff, but I've seen people try it.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same with mustard. If you put too much mustard on your sarnie,
it goes up your nose. It does, yes. Yeah. You have to try that. But it's got to be what kind of mustard? Because it's
got to be Coleman's.
It's got to be Coleman's. It's got to be English mustard.
English mustard. It has to be.
Because when I was telling you the other week, and I did film it, you said they're not. It has to be English mustard, mind.
I'm going to be controversial now. Yeah, don't use Canadian mustard. It'll be weak and watery.
I think we'd better leave it there. B-Mac1, you've set him on with a task. He's got to go upstairs and find out what Boston baked beans are. So B-Mac1 mentioned Boston baked beans, and you had to find out about it.
I googled it.
You googled it?
I googled it. Boston baked beans.
Come on then.
Are a candied peanut snack styled to look like the variety of beans that Boston is famous for. We
need to find a picture.
The hard shell on the beans is fairly thick, and it gives way to more of a chewy experience rather than a brittle shell that you might expect. It makes a great movie time snack.
Oh, we'll have to find some Boston baked beans.
So, I didn't believe all that, by the way. I think somebody's nicked Boston baked beans
And
to trade sweets.
sweets.
Right?
Hang on,
So-
just let me shut the door because we have a washing machine going in the back.
Reading on.
Reading
we
on.
get the truth.
Right.
And the truth is that it's a wonderful old-fashioned baked bean flavour. And it's been served for 29 years. And originally came from this person's mother-in-law, apparently. Eh? Oh, it tastes great, and you serve it with fresh cornbread or biscuits.
It tastes great. So is it not Boston baked beans? It's just a flavour.
No, these are baked beans. They make the baked beans, and it's in a sauce.
It's called Boston sauce.
And they're known as Boston baked beans. I think HP nicked the recipe.
Oh, right. HP brown sauce, you mean?
No.
Oh, no, HP tomatoes. Oh, HP
Heinz.
beans. Heinz.
Yeah, Heinz.
Oh, Heinz. I used to call them Heinz.
And Heinz won't do them as well because these look fantastic.
All right.
Although you've got to allow a bit of time for soaking and simmering the beans.
Right.
It's still an easy recipe. So we are going to make some.
Ooh,
And there'll
okay.
be a full report with pictures.
Right, okay. We'll wait for that then. I'm going to love you, I'm not going to leave you, and I'm going to catch you next time.